I actually just got my makeup done at Priceline, and I don't know, it's a different look for me. Like, I don't wear makeup much, I don't do it much, you know, like at most I put on foundation and eyeliner. I hope it doesn't look like too much. I guess I want to talk really briefly about something that I kind of experience on a regular basis. I'm heading somewhere more peaceful. As it turns out, I don't think this is really a good idea after all, because if someone comes here, I'm gonna stop talking. And I'll keep stopping and starting. Okay, I don't know if it's because I'm overweight, but there's this thing where almost every second guy I meet thinks that I'm flirting with them just because I'm talking to them. I don't know if it's the way I talk. I don't know if I'm too friendly, because I smile. I'm like, you know, I'm one of those people. I just smile at people, especially if people smile at me. That's just what I'm like. I can't help that that's what I'm like. I don't know if I've got a flirty type face, like when I look at you, I look like I'm flirting. Like, there'll be instances where I'll look at someone just like that. For like a second, because they just walked into the room. And you know, like that thing where everybody turns to see who's coming into the room? Yeah, that. People think that I like them. I don't know if it's because I'm fat. It's not a feminist rant, by the way, or any of that stuff, because I don't want to get trolls to do with that. If anybody even watches this video, I don't want to get trolls to do with that. It's a personal thing. Maybe the flirting here is really, really subtle, like so subtle that if I open my mouth like this, that's flirting. I don't know if that, does that look like I'm flirting? Like, I walk around with a dumb look on my face, like I walk around like that. Like I'm stupid. Like, I remember this one time I went to a shoe shop, and I went to get, you know, new shoes. Like, I actually wanted to get some Jordans, but apparently, either in Australia or just in Adelaide, you can't get ones for women. I don't know why. You can only get Jordans in the men's section, which is kind of lame, but I guess maybe a lot of women here haven't expressed the desire to wear Jordans, whatever. Like, I know I'm not African American, but it just seems cool when I see them, like, make a big deal about Jordans, so I wanted to get Jordans. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll wear the men's ones. I don't know. I made the big classic mistake of major flirtation, because they're men's size, so I don't know what my size is in a men's shoe. I said, what's the equivalent size for me, because I'm a size 10? And he was just like, looking at me like that, like, as if I was in on him. They look at you as if you've asked them to marry them. You know, I don't understand that. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand it, you know. There's a lot of people I've met, like, especially when I go into gaming stores and other places. The people are really, really nice, so they don't do that. But in other places, I don't know if these guys are just arrogant, or they think they're better than me, or whatever it is. And again, this is not a feminist rant. You know, it just sucks, you know? I'm obviously talking about guys because I'm straight. Like, maybe it's the culture here, but it really, really sucks to then have that reaction, whether they decide to be mean to you or they decide to just be normal or just be a bit weird just because of it. Like, I'm over it. It makes me not want to go to any shops half the time. I didn't just walk in, look at you, and decided that you were the one I wanted to be with. Like, here's my tips for anybody going through the same thing, because it's probably not a fat girl thing. I actually think that skinny girls go through that, because I remember, like, my friend said to me, like, she works in a restaurant, and she said that whenever the men walked in, right, they would look at her. If you look at them for too long, they get a bit funny. What she would do is just look at them, nod briefly, and just look down. Just look down, like, straight away. Because if you don't do that, you're hitting on them. That is the first thing. And she was skinny and pretty, so I don't think it's just me. When you walk into a shop, if the person's always nice and you always have a conversation, it doesn't matter how you act, because they're not going to think much of it. So you don't have to use these tips for people you're already getting along with. People, you know, these are just acquaintances, by the way. People who, you know, this is for strangers. This is for strangers. Okay? This is for complete strangers. All you did was this. Okay. That face I just made, I was smiling too much. So, this is what you need to do. I don't know. It's gonna make me feel like Cruella de Vil. Kind of makes me feel like Ursula. Kind of makes me feel like Maleficent. It kind of makes me feel like the evil queen. But it's fine. By the way, that might not work, but that's my recommendation. Just do this. Wait, no, sorry, I smiled too much. Do this. Was that better? I need to know, because it's possible that that was still flirtatious. So just think of your favorite villain and act like them. Or something. I'm not trying to lead a peaceful life. I try to lead a life where things are not too antagonistic for me. I avoid conflict. I'm not great in arguments. And it's not that I can't have an argument or I can't stand up for myself. It's more like I'm just not really used to it because I don't live a life of conflict. I don't live a life where I get into bar fights and all those things. But you know what? If people are gonna start doing that shit, things are gonna start changing. My personality is gonna start changing, you know? And I'm not saying it's gonna be a hugely negative change, but I actually like smiling at people.